Both the BBC in Britain and Australian media ABC recently carried reports concerning a well-known Chinese medic and politician, Huang Jiefu. He's a former Vice Minister of Health and currently holds an honorary professorship at Sydney University. He was granted this in 2011 due to his contributions in the field of organ transplant surgery, and recently the university decided to extend that title for 3 more years. But the same university is now reviewing the situation after reports and allegations that he presided over the removal of organs from executed Chinese prisoners without their permission. China has come under a barrage of criticism from the international community and human rights organizations for continuing to source organs from executed prisoners. Cultural taboos mean that voluntary donations of organs from the public are at really infinitesimally small, low levels. In fact, back in 2005, Huang Jiefu said that condemned prisoners are the main source of organs for transplant in China. In doing so, he became the first Chinese official to admit this fact in public. Despite this, in 2006, a government spokesperson still insisted that only in very rare cases were convicted prisoners' organs removed, and then only with their permission. At the same time, Chinese media have been discussing another related topic, and this concerns the prohibition on prisoners in Chinese jails from donating organs, even when the purpose is to save the lives of family members. So what do Chinese net users make of these apparently contradictory statements and positions? Well, to hear what's being said online, let's join our researcher Esther Dung in the newsroom. So Esther, perhaps first let's look at the responses to the controversy over Huang Jiefu's honorary professorship in Australia. How have this been received?
Well, first I'd like to say that Huang Jiefu certainly isn't an unknown name, and for plenty of Chinese net users, in fact, he's quite a celebrity. And as you've mentioned, Dr. Huang was the first Chinese official who came out openly and said that Chinese hospitals do get most of their organs from executed prisoners. And actually, just last year, during the annual plenary meeting of China's parliament, he repeated this statement and promised that the situation would change within 3 to 5 years. And at the time, that won him plenty of praise from both the media and the public, and he was even referred to as the country's most conscientious official. Now, this time, in terms of the controversy over his honor in Sydney University, posters' opinions are quite divided. Some have condemned him outright for his link to this practice and believe he should lose his honorary title as soon as possible. Like this poster who says, "It's perfectly correct to remove his title as honorary professor. He himself carries out nearly 1,000 organ transplant operations every year. He had to pay for what he's done." Well, some point out that there are those who rely on Dr. Huang's work too. This is from Sina.com. But the point is there are indeed many people who are dire in need of these organs. And of course, there are the conspiracy theory crowd who suspect the motivation behind all the criticisms and accusations. Zhu Lianzi writes on Weibo.com. "I'm wondering about all these criticisms from other countries. How many really stem from ideological hostility towards China?"
Okay, so what about these apparently contradictory reports on the use of executed prisoners' organs? On the one hand, we have Mr. or Dr. Huang saying that this is the main source of organs, while on the other hand, the government's denied this. What do net users think about this?
Well, from what I've seen, lots of posters, either based on hearsay or what they've seen or heard happen around them, believe there is widespread use of executed prisoners' organs here in China. Actually, the web portal QQ.com published a feature on this topic recently. This claimed it was actually an open secret in Chinese medical circles that the prisoners' organs were used in this way. And it also quotes a college professor, Chen Zhonghua, who gave the interesting figures. Official data show that every year, at least 10,000 organ transplant operations take place, and that 65% of the organs are from voluntary donors after they die. But from 2003 to August 2009, in mainland China, only 130 people bequeathed their organs after death, which obviously begs the question, where did the other 9,500 plus come from? And a net user called Sun Skyline has this shocking claim on kittynet.net. I know of 2 people personally who had liver transplants, and in both cases, the organs came from executed prisoners. And 1 prisoner was executed ahead of the arranged date because the patient couldn't wait any longer. And this poster has a cynical take on 天涯岛实验. And now I finally understand why China insists it won't abolish the death penalty. And finally, we have this from Gu Xiaojun. Prisoners may have violated the law, and the law may have the right to deprive them of their lives, but nobody has the right to deprive them of the right to own their own organs.
Well, that seems pretty clear. Okay, Esther, moving to this slightly different but related issue that we mentioned briefly earlier. This is the debate over whether prisoners in jail here in China have the right to donate their organs, such as a kidney or part of their liver, to family members or others who might need them. What's being said on this?
Well, this topic is actually something that's been debated for years among legal experts and in the public domain. And one of the most recent and best-known cases involves 2 brothers in Henan, Ma Qichang and Ma Qizheng. Ma Qichang was diagnosed with uremia in 2007, and only his brother Ma Qizheng's kidney was suitable for transplant. But his brother was in jail in Hubei for theft. Although Ma Qizheng said he was willing to donate his kidney to his younger brother, the prison authorities wouldn't allow it. Why? Well, the Chinese Ministry of Justice has a regulation which reads rather strangely and unclearly, before any law is passed on this, organ donation isn't suitable for prisoners. This case was widely reported in the media, and finally in June 2009, the prison did let him go and the transplant operation took place. But many people believe that this was only due to the heavy public and media pressure. This case has sparked off heated debate online. A certain number of posters say they understand the Justice Ministry's concerns. For example, they ask, what if the prisoners are put under pressure to voluntarily donate their organs? Or what if prisoners try to use this to get a reduction in their sentence? But many argue that saving lives is the most important aspect. And actually, many lawyers point out that over the years, there have been plenty of cases similar to that of these brothers, but there was less publicity and the operation was refused. For a lot more, it seems that prisoners should have the right to donate their organs, but they want laws passed to cover this as soon as possible. I will wrap up with this take from Liu Renwen, a lawyer. Prisoners should be given the right to donate their organs, but strict regulations and procedures have to be in place. I think the ideal situation is to let a neutral third party to decide whether an organ transplant should be carried out or not among this group. Besides this, it had to be made clear that organ donation has nothing to do with reducing sentences.
Okay, thanks for that, Esther. And that was China Take researcher Esther Deng with an online reaction to renewed controversy over the use of organs from executed prisoners in China and that honorary professorship for Dr. Huang Jiefu. Next up on China Take, some of the top trending phrases on China's most popular search engines.